You think you're losing the game of life because you drew a bad hand? Because you're not smart enough, not attractive enough, not born into the right family? Let me tell you something. You're not losing because of fate, destiny, or some cosmic curse. You're losing because you're playing by a set of imaginary rules someone sold you, while the winners are using a completely different playbook. This isn't a pep talk. This isn't where I tell you to just believe in yourself and everything will magically fall into place. This is an intervention. This is the verbal sledgehammer you need to shatter the fragile glass house built around your ego. I'm about to hand you 50 brutally honest truths that will give you an almost criminal advantage in life, but only if you have the guts to swallow them without choking. If you're looking for a safe space, a gentle pat on the back, or a participation trophy, click away now. This is not for the faint of heart. This is for the person who is sick and tired of being a spectator in their own life. The person who is ready to stop playing on easy mode and finally unlock their real potential. If you're still here, then you're ready. Let's begin. 1. The universe doesn't have a customer service department for your feelings. Nobody, and I mean nobody, owes you a damn thing. Not respect, not love, not success, not even basic courtesy. You are not entitled to a great life just because you exist. The world doesn't owe you a living. It was here first. Every single thing. You want from the money in your bank account to the respect of your peers must be earned. It must be taken. Stop walking around with your hand out, expecting life to drop opportunities into your palm like a charity case. The sense of entitlement is the most potent poison for ambition. It turns lions into house cats waiting to be fed. You want respect? Be respectable? You want success? Go out and create value until the world has no choice but to reward you. Crying about what you deserve is the adult version of a toddler throwing a tantrum in the candy aisle. It's pathetic and it gets you nowhere. The world will continue to spin, completely indifferent to your complaints. Your boss doesn't owe you a promotion. Your friends don't owe you their loyalty. And the universe doesn't owe you happiness. Start with the fundamental understanding that you begin at 0 and everything you get is a direct result of what you give to. Your intentions are worthless. Absolutely, unequivocally worthless. The world doesn't reward you for what you plan to do, what you meant to do, or what you were going to do. It rewards you for what you actually did. Results are the only currency that matters in the real world. You can have the purest heart, the most brilliant ideas, and the noblest of intentions, but if you don't execute, you're nothing more than a dreamer. I was going to start that business. I meant to go to the gym. I planned on finishing that project. So, what? Your good intentions won't pay your rent. They won't build your empire. They won't get you in shape. They're just a comforting. Will you tell yourself to feel better about your own inaction? Stop talking about the masterpiece you're going to paint and pick up the damn brush. Stop fantasizing about the marathon you'll run and go for a walk. Action is the only thing that separates the winners from the wishful thinkers. The road to hell is paved with good intentions, and the road to mediocrity is paved with the projects you are about to start. Your life is a direct reflection of your actions, not your aspirations. 3. The person you are most afraid of is your future self. Not the boogeyman, not your critics, not your boss. It's the version of you that you could become. The disciplined, focused, relentless version of you that achieves everything you're currently dreaming about. You're terrified of that person because you know the price they paid. You know the sacrifices they made, the early mornings, the late nights, the rejections they endured, and the discomfort they pushed through. You are actively avoiding becoming that person because you're addicted to the comfort of being your current, underachieving self. It's easier to stay the same. It's easier to hit snooze, to scroll through social media, to say, I'll do it tomorrow. Every time you choose comfort over discipline, you are betraying that future self. You are robbing them of their potential. That person is screaming at you from the future, begging you to get up, to do the work, to face the fear. But you can't hear them over the sound of your own excuses. The greatest battle you will ever fight is between who you are now and who you are capable of becoming. Stop being a coward and start fighting for that future. 4. Most people are not your friends. They are just spectators in your life. They are there for the show. They'll sit in the front row when you're succeeding, enjoying the spectacle, and they'll be just as entertained, if not more so, when you fail. True loyalty is one of the rarest commodities on this planet. Most of the people you call friends are just acquaintances of convenience. They are around when it's easy, when you're fun, when you're buying the next round. But the moment you need something real support during a crisis, a helping hand when you're down, or someone to believe in you when you don't believe in yourself, the stadium empties. Success exposes fake friends faster than failure ever could. When you start to win, watch the people around you. Some will clap, but many will start to whisper. Their smiles will become a little tighter, their congratulations a little less sincere. They were comfortable with you when you were on their level, but the moment you start to surpass them, their insecurity turns into jealousy. Pay attention to who isn't clapping when you win. That's the most honest feedback you'll ever get. 5. Motivation is a fleeting, unreliable drug. Discipline is the steel framework that holds your life together. Waiting to feel motivated to do something important is like waiting for all the traffic lights to be green before you start your journey. It's a fool's game. Motivation is an emotion, a feeling. And like all feelings, it comes and goes. It will abandon you on your worst days when you're tired, stressed, and full of doubt. That is precisely when discipline has to take over. Discipline is not about feeling good. It's about doing what you need to do, regardless of how you feel. It's the commitment you make to your future self. It's forging a habit through sheer force of will until it becomes automatic. The professional shows up and does the work, whether they feel like it or not. The amateur waits for inspiration too. Strike. Do you think champions wake up every single day bursting with motivation to train? No. They wake up and train because they are disciplined. They understand that the boring, repetitive, unglamorous work is what forges greatness. Stop chasing the high of motivation and start cultivating the power of discipline. It will carry you long after the initial excitement has faded. 6. Your comfort zone is a beautifully decorated cage. It's warm, it's familiar, it's safe, but it is still a cage, and it will slowly, imperceptibly kill every ounce of your potential. Growth and comfort are mutually exclusive. You cannot have both at the same time. Every single thing you have ever wanted in life exists just outside the boundaries of your comfort zone. The fear you feel when you think about doing something new, something challenging, is not a stop sign. It is a compass pointing you in the exact direction you need to go. That feeling of discomfort is the feeling of you expanding, of you growing stronger. Staying where you are comfortable is a decision to stagnate. It's choosing a slow, comfortable death of the soul. You think you're playing it safe, but you're actually taking the biggest risk of all, the risk of waking up in 20 years in the exact same place, filled with regret for the chances you never took. The graveyard is the richest place on earth because it is filled with all the ideas that were never realized. The businesses that were never started and the dreams that were never pursued, all because someone was too afraid to leave their comfort zone. Don't let your potential die with you. 7. The truth doesn't care about your feelings. Reality is not subject to a popular vote. You can believe with all your heart that you can fly, but if you jump off a building, you are going to hit the ground hard. We live in a culture that has become obsessed with validating feelings over facing facts. People want to be told that their subjective truth is just as valid as objective reality. This is a dangerous delusion. You are not entitled to your own facts. You can ignore reality, but you cannot ignore the consequences of ignoring reality. If your business is failing, the market is telling you a truth. You can either listen to that truth and adapt, or you can stick your head in the sand and go bankrupt. If your relationships are constantly falling apart, there's a truth about your behavior or your choices that you are avoiding. The truth is often brutal. It can be painful. It can shatter your ego, but it is the only thing that can set you free. Avoiding the truth because it hurts is like a patient refusing a diagnosis because they are afraid of the disease. The disease is still there, and it will only get worse. Seek out the truth, especially when it's uncomfortable. It's the fastest path to growth. 8. Busy is the new stupid. Being busy is not a badge of honor. It's a sign of inefficiency. People love to brag about how busy they are, how they have no time, how they're running around all day. In reality, they are just admitting that. They have no control over their own lives. They are reactive, not proactive. They are letting their day be dictated by other people's agendas and trivial tasks. Don't confuse movement with progress. A rocking horse is in constant motion, but it never goes anywhere. The truly effective people are often the ones who look the least busy. They have time to think. They have time for their families. They have time for their health. Why? Because they are ruthless with their priorities. They focus on the 20% of activities that generate 80% of the results. They say no to almost everything so they can say yes to the few things that truly matter. Stop wearing busy as a status symbol. It just means you're a hamster on a wheel, running faster and faster, but staying in the same place. It's not about doing more things. It's about doing more of the right things. Be effective, not just busy. 9. You are the CEO of your own life, but you're acting like an unpaid intern. You are outsourcing all the major decisions to your emotions, your fears, and the opinions of other people. You let your feelings dictate whether you go to the gym. You let your fear decide whether you apply for that job. You let your friends' opinions determine your life goals. It's time for a corporate takeover of your own mind. You need to step into the role of the chief executive officer. A CEO doesn't ask for permission. A CEO sets the vision, makes the hard decisions, and takes full responsibility for the outcomes. They don't blame the market, the competition, or their employees when things go wrong. They own it. You need to start treating your life with the same level of seriousness. Your body is your company's physical asset. Your mind is its most valuable resource. Your time is its most limited capital. Are you investing these resources wisely, or are you squandering them? Stop being a passive employee in the corporation of you, Inc., and start acting like the one in charge. Fire your excuses, demote your fears, and promote your discipline. 10. The world rewards boldness, not perfection. Perfectionism is the most elegant form of procrastination. It's a high-class excuse for not taking action. You tell yourself, I can't launch this yet. It's not perfect. I can't apply for that role. My resume isn't perfect. I can't start this conversation. I don't know the perfect thing to say. What you're really saying is, I'm scared. You're scared of being judged. You're scared of failing. You're scared of looking stupid. So you hide behind the noble-sounding shield of perfectionism. The truth is, done is infinitely better than perfect. The first version of anything is always going to be messy. The first draft is supposed to be terrible. The first attempt is supposed to be clumsy. The winners in life are not the ones who wait for the perfect moment. They are the ones who start, get feedback from reality, and then iterate. They launch the good enough product and improve it based on customer reviews. They have the imperfect conversation and build a connection. They understand that momentum is more powerful than perfection. Get it out there. Get it done. You can polish it later. The world doesn't pay for perfect plans. It pays for bold action. 11. Your brain is a supercomputer, but you are running it on outdated garbage software. The software is your belief system, your habits, and the information you consume. If you constantly feed your brain a diet of social media drama, negative news, and mindless entertainment, what kind of output do you expect? Garbage in, garbage out. Your brain is programmable. It will believe what you repeatedly tell it. If You tell yourself you're a loser, that you're not good enough, that you can't do it. Your brain will accept that as a command and actively look for evidence to prove it right. It will filter your reality to match your beliefs. This is not woo-woo. Nonsense. This is basic neuroscience. You have the power to reprogram your own mind. Start by changing your inputs. Unfollow the negative people. Turn off the news. Replace an hour of scrolling with an hour of reading a book that challenges you. Replace complaining with gratitude. Replace self-doubt with affirmations backed by action. Your mind is the most powerful tool you will ever possess. Stop using it as a trash can for the world's garbage and start using it as the weapon. It was designed to be .12. Nobody respects a people pleaser. The desperate need to be liked by everyone is a sign of deep-seated insecurity. It signals that you value other people's opinions more than your own. You become a chameleon, changing your colors to fit in with whoever you're with, agreeing with opinions you don't hold and saying yes when you desperately want to say no. And what do you get in return? Not respect. You get taken for granted. People don't value what is always available and always agreeable. They value what is scarce, what has boundaries, what stands for something. When you say no to something, you are saying yes to yourself. You are telling the world that your time, your energy, and your values are important. The first time you say no to someone who is used to you saying yes, they will be angry. They will call you selfish. Good, let them. That is the sound of them realizing they can no longer walk all over you. The right people, the people you actually want in your life, will respect your boundaries. The wrong people will be filtered out. Stop trading your self-respect for a little bit of temporary approval. It's the worst deal you'll ever make. 13. Your emotions are data, not directors. They are signals from your body and mind, providing you with information. Fear is telling you that you are facing a potential threat or a challenge. Anger is telling you that a boundary has been crossed. Sadness is telling you that you have experienced a loss. You should listen to this data, acknowledge it, understand it. But you should never let it take the driver's seat of your life. You are the one in charge, not your feelings. You can feel fear and still take action. You can feel tired and still go to the gym. You can feel uninspired and still do the work. The mistake most people make is they identify with their emotions. They say, I am sad instead of I feel sad. You are not your emotions. You are the observer of your emotions. Letting your feelings dictate your actions is like letting a weather report decide your life's destination. The weather changes. Your commitment to your goals should not. Learn to create a space between the feeling and the action. In that space lies your power. Feel the emotion, thank it for the information, and then make a conscious choice based on your values and your goals, not on a temporary chemical reaction in your brain. 14. If you're the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room. This is one of the most quoted pieces of advice, and yet almost everyone ignores it. Why? Because the ego loves to be the smartest person in the room. It feels good. It's comfortable. It's validating. But it is the enemy of growth. If you are not being challenged, you are not growing. You are stagnating. You should actively seek out rooms where you feel a little bit stupid, where you are surrounded by people who are 10 steps ahead of you. It will be uncomfortable. Your ego will take a beating. You will have to shut up and listen. But you will learn more in 1 hour in that room than you in a year of being the king of your own little hill. Find mentors. Find peers who push. You read books by people far more intelligent than you. Humble yourself enough to admit that you don't know everything. The moment you think you have it all figured out is the moment you begin your decline. The pursuit of knowledge and growth is a lifelong game. Make sure you're always playing with people who force you to level up. 15. Failure is not the opposite of success. It is a part of success. Our society has demonized failure. We are taught from a young age to avoid it at all costs. We are punished for getting the wrong answer. We are shamed for not winning. This creates a generation of people who are terrified to try anything where the outcome is not guaranteed. They stick to the safe path, the predictable route. And in doing so, they guarantee a life of mediocrity. The truth is, every single successful person you admire has failed more times than you have even tried. Failure is data. It's feedback. It's the price of admission for mastery. When you fail, you learn what doesn't work. You get stronger. You become more resilient. The only true failure is the failure to try. The only disgrace is the fear of falling. The mindset of a winner is not to avoid failure, but to fail faster. To get the inevitable failures out of the way as quickly as possible so they can learn the lessons and move on. Stop seeing failure as a verdict on your worth and start seeing it as tuition for your education and greatness. Go out and get some Fs. They are far more valuable than a lifetime of Cs. 16. The victim mindset is the most comfortable prison ever built. It's a warm, padded cell where nothing is ever your fault. The government is to blame. The economy is to blame. Your parents are to blame. Your boss is to blame. Everyone. And everything is responsible for your unhappiness, except for you. And in a twisted way, it feels good. It absolves you of all responsibility. You get to be the righteous, wronged party. You get sympathy. But what you trade for that sympathy is your power. The moment you blame someone else, you are giving them control over your life. You are saying, my happiness depends on you changing. And what are the chances of that? 0. The victim narrative is emotional quicksand. The more you struggle and complain within it, the deeper you sink. The only way out is to take radical 100% responsibility for your life, for your happiness, for your success, for your failures, for your reactions. It's a terrifying prospect because it means you have no one to blame but yourself. But it is also the most liberating realization you can ever have. Because if you are the problem, then you are also the solution. 17. Charisma will open doors that credentials can never unlock. We live in a world that worships qualifications, degrees, and certificates. And while those things have their place, they are not the deciding factor in success. You can have a PhD from the best university in the world, but if you are boring, if you cannot connect with people, if you cannot communicate your ideas in a compelling way, you will lose to the person with half your qualifications but double your charisma. Charisma is not some magical quality you're born with. It is a skill. It is the ability to make other people feel seen, heard, and important. It's about being genuinely interested in others, not just waiting for your turn to talk. It's about confidence, not arrogance. It's about storytelling. It's about energy. People make decisions emotionally and then justify them logically. Charisma speaks directly to the emotional brain. It builds trust and rapport before you even present your credentials. Stop hiding behind your resume. Your degree can get you the interview, but your personality will get you the job. Your business plan can get you the meeting, but your passion will get you the investment. In a world of paper qualifications, genuine human connection is the ultimate. Competitive advantage. 18. Your looks are a depreciating asset. Your character is an appreciating one. Society, especially social media, has placed an insane premium on physical appearance. People spend fortunes and countless hours trying to perfect their external shell. And while there is nothing wrong with taking care of yourself and looking your best, you must understand that you are fighting a battle you will inevitably lose. Time is undefeated. Your looks will fade. Your youth will vanish. If your entire sense of self-worth is tied to your appearance, you are building your house on a foundation of sand. What doesn't fade? Discipline, resilience, integrity, kindness, courage, wisdom. These are the qualities that build a life of substance. These are the things that make you more valuable as you get older, not less. While others are panicking about their first wrinkle, you should be focused on adding another layer to your character. While they are obsessed with their jawline, you should be obsessed with your discipline. Build something that lasts. Build a character so strong that it shines through long after your physical beauty has peaked. That is the only real security you will ever have. 19. Most people don't want advice. They want an echo. They want you to validate the decision they have already made. When someone comes to you and says, "What do you think I should do?" A lot of the time, they are not looking for your honest opinion. They're looking for your permission. They are looking for you to co-sign their bullshit. They want you to tell them that it's okay to quit, that it's okay to take the easy way out, that their excuses are valid. Giving honest, tough love advice is a risky business. It can cost you friends. People don't like having their comfortable delusions challenged. It's much easier to be the supportive friend who says, "You do you, follow your heart," even when you see them about to drive off a cliff. But that's not real friendship. That's cowardice. A true friend is willing to have the uncomfortable conversation. A true friend is willing to tell you the truth even when it stings. Be very selective about who you take advice from. And be even more selective about who you give it to. Most of the time, the best thing you can do is just listen and let them talk themselves into their own conclusion. 20. The quality of your life is determined by the quality of the questions you ask yourself. Losers ask disempowering questions. Why does this always happen to me? Why can't I ever catch a break? What's wrong with me? These questions presuppose a negative answer and send your brain on a mission to find evidence of your own victimhood. And it will succeed. Winners ask empowering questions. What can I learn from this? How can I use this to my advantage? What is the opportunity here that I'm not seeing? These questions presuppose that there is a solution, that there is a path forward, and they send your brain on a mission to find it. Your internal dialogue is the most important conversation you will ever have. It is running 24/7, and it is shaping your reality. If you are constantly asking yourself negative, dead-end questions, you will live a negative, dead-end life. Start auditing your own thoughts. When you catch yourself asking a victim's question, consciously stop and reframe it into a victor's question. This single habit, more than almost any other, has the power to completely transform your life from the inside out. Short musical break. Beat comes back slightly stronger. We're not even halfway through. And I feel some of you squirming. Good, that's the feeling of your old, weak self starting to die. Let it. The next 30 truths are designed to finish the job. 21. Jealousy is a confession of your own inferiority. When you feel that ugly sting of envy towards someone else's success, don't just push it away. Analyze it. Jealousy is a roadmap. It is pointing directly at what you want, but don't believe you can have. It's a spotlight on your own insecurities and perceived shortcomings. Instead of hating the person who has what you want, use that feeling as fuel. Let it be the catalyst that makes you ask, what are they doing that I'm not? What skills do they have that I need to develop? What mindset do they possess that I need to adopt? Turning jealousy into admiration and then into a strategy is a superpower. The weak let jealousy consume them with bitterness and resentment. The strong use it as a diagnostic tool for their own growth. The next time you see someone winning and feel that pang of envy, thank them silently for showing you the way. Then get to work. 20-2. You train people how to treat you. Every interaction you have is a lesson. You are constantly, whether you realize it or not, teaching the people in your life what is and is not acceptable behavior towards you. When you laugh off a disrespectful comment, you teach them that it's okay to disrespect you. When you consistently answer calls and texts at 2 a.m., you teach them that your time is not valuable. When you accept a half-assed apology, you teach them that there are no consequences for their actions. You cannot complain about being treated poorly if you consistently tolerate it. Setting boundaries is not an act of aggression. It is an act of self-respect. It is you providing a clear user manual for how to engage with you. People will only treat you as badly as you allow them to. If you want to be treated with respect, you must be willing to walk away from situations and people who refuse to give it. Your silence and your presence are your endorsement. Use them wisely. 23. The most dangerous person is the one who can control their own emotions. In a world of loud, reactive people, the one who can remain calm in the storm holds all the power. Rage is a sign of weakness. It shows that you have lost. Control that you are at the mercy of your own internal state. Panicked reactions lead to stupid decisions. The person who can feel anger, fear, or frustration without being controlled by it is playing chess while everyone else is playing checkers. They can think clearly under pressure. They can de-escalate conflict. They can see the long-term game when others are lost in the short-term drama. Silence is often more terrifying than rage. A calm, measured response to an attack is infinitely more powerful than a screaming match. Master your emotions, or they will master you. This doesn't mean becoming a robot. It means becoming the master of the machine, not a slave to it. 20-4. Your goals don't care about your excuses. They don't care if you're tired, if you're busy, if you had a bad day, or if you just don't feel like it. The goal is a binary outcome. It either gets achieved or it doesn't. The universe does not give points for effort or for good stories about why you couldn't do it. All your excuses, no matter how valid they may seem to you, are just sophisticated forms of self-sabotage. They are lies you tell yourself to protect your ego from the pain of admitting you just didn't want it badly enough. The next time you hear yourself making an excuse, stop and call yourself out. Be brutally honest. It's not that you don't have time. It's that it's not a priority. It's not that you're too tired. It's that you're not disciplined enough. Shifting the language from an external excuse to an internal choice puts the power back in your hands. Your goals are waiting for you. They are different to your complaints. They only respond to one thing. Action. 20-5. Someday is a disease that will take your dreams to the grave with you. It is the most dangerous word in the English language. Someday I'll start that business. Someday I'll travel the world. Someday I'll get in shape. Someday is not a day of the week. It is a fantasy land where 99% of human potential is buried. It's a way to postpone the risk, the effort, and the possibility of failure indefinitely. You get the small dopamine hit of imagining the success without ever having to do the work. But time is slipping through your fingers like sand. Every someday you utter is another nail in the coffin of your ambitions. There's only now. There's only today. You want to start a business? Write down the first step you can take in the next 24 hours. You want to get in shape? Go for a 10-minute walk right now. The antidote to someday is right now. The grandest journeys are started with a single, small, imperfect step. Take it. 20-6. You are not behind in life. You are just distracted by other people's timelines. Social media has created a culture of constant comparison. You are scrolling through a highlight reel of everyone else's life, their engagements, their promotions, their vacations, their perfect-looking families, and you are comparing it to your own behind-the-scenes mess. This is a recipe for perpetual misery. You are on your own path. Your journey is not supposed to look like anyone else's. Someone else's success at 25 does not mean you are a failure at 30. Life is not a race with a standardized finish line. The only person you should be competing with is the person you were yesterday. Are you a little bit better? A little bit stronger? A little bit wiser? That is the only metric that matters. Unplug from the comparison machine. Get so focused on your own grass that you don't even notice if someone else's is greener. Your timeline is your own. Honor it. 20-7. The truth will cost you some friends, but lies will cost you your soul. Living an authentic life, pretending to be someone you're not to fit in, is a slow and painful form of suicide. You are murdering your true self piece by piece, day by day. It is exhausting to wear a mask all the time, to constantly monitor your words and actions to make sure they align with the persona you've created. The fear is that if you show people who you really are, they will reject you. And some of them will. Let them. The people who leave were never really your friends in the first place. They were friends with the character you were playing. When you have the courage to be authentic, you give the right people a chance to find you. You will attract a tribe that loves you for who you are, not for who you pretend to be. Losing fake friends is not a loss. It's an upgrade. The temporary pain of rejection is nothing compared to the chronic pain of self-betrayal.20-8. Overthinking is just fear wearing a tuxedo. It masquerades as being thoughtful, strategic, and responsible, but in reality, it's just a sophisticated form of paralysis. You analyze a situation from every possible angle. You create endless what if scenarios. You play out conversations in your head 1,000 times. You feel like you're being productive because your mind is so active, but you haven't actually done anything. You haven't moved a single inch forward. Overthinking is the mind's way of creating the illusion of control in a situation where you feel powerless. It's a defense mechanism to avoid taking the action that scares you. The cure for overthinking is not more thinking, it's action, even a small, tiny action. Send the email, make the call, write the first sentence. Action breaks the spell. It proves to your brain that the monster you created in your head was just a shadow. Stop trying to think your way out of a problem. You need to act your way out of .20-9. Real freedom is not about having more money. It's about having control over your time. You can be a millionaire, but if you have to be in an office for 80 hours a week and answer to a boss you hate, you are not free. You are a high-paid slave. The ultimate goal should be to build a life where you and you alone decide what you do with your day, where you can wake up without an alarm clock, where you can work on projects that you are passionate about, where you can spend time with the people you love whenever you want. This is the real wealth. Money is just a tool to help you achieve this. Many people get so caught up in chasing the money that they forget what they wanted the money for in the first place. They build a golden cage for themselves. Don't just chase income, chase freedom. Build systems, create assets, develop skills that decouple your time from your income. That is the only path to true sovereignty over your own life. 30. Your job is to build a life, not just a career. Your career is a component of your life, an important one, but it is not the whole thing. So many people sacrifice their health, their relationships, and their happiness for the sake of their job. They climb the corporate ladder only to find that it was leaning against the wrong wall. They reach the top and realize they are completely alone and unfulfilled. Don't be that person. You must be intentional about designing all the aspects of your life, your health, your relationships, your personal growth, your contribution. A successful career in a life that is otherwise failing is not a success at all. What's the point of a big title if your body is falling apart? What's the point of a huge salary if you have no one to share it with? Define what a successful life looks like for you across all domains and then build a career that supports that vision, not one that destroys it. 31. If it's not a hell yes, it's a no. This applies to everything. Job opportunities, relationships, projects. We waste so much of our lives on things that are just fine, okay, or good enough. We take the job that's okay because we're afraid we won't get a better offer. We stay in the relationship that's just fine because we're afraid of being alone. We say yes to commitments that we're not excited about because we don't want to disappoint someone. Every time you say yes to something you're not passionate about, you are taking up a slot in your life that could have been filled by something amazing. You are closing the door to a potential hell yes opportunity. Having the courage to say no to the mediocre is what creates the space for the magnificent to enter. Raise your standards. Your life is too short to be filled with lukewarm experiences. 32. Humble people know they are beasts. They just don't feel the need to roar. There is a massive difference between being humble and having low self-esteem. Low self-esteem is believing you're worthless. Humility is knowing your worth, but not needing to broadcast it to the world. The loudest person in the room is often the most insecure. They need to constantly talk about their accomplishments, their possessions, and their importance because they are seeking external validation. They are trying to convince themselves as much as they are trying to convince you. The truly confident person is quiet. They are calm. They let their actions and their results do the talking. They don't need your approval because they have their own. They are a lion, and a lion does not need to roar to Proverb 33. You are addicted to comfort, not happiness. You chase the easy, the familiar, the predictable. That's why you feel perpetually tired but never fulfilled. Happiness often lies on the other side of a difficult challenge, a courageous conversation, or a period of intense effort. Comfort is the enemy of fulfillment. It's the warm blanket that smothers your ambition. You are choosing the short-term pleasure of ease over the long-term satisfaction of achievement. This is why you can spend a whole weekend binge watching a series and feel more drained on Monday morning, not recharged. You haven't earned your rest. You've just indulged in distraction. Break your addiction to comfort. Seek out challenges that make you feel alive, not just activities that help you pass the time. 30-4. Energy doesn't lie. Pay attention to how you feel after you interact with someone. Do you feel drained, exhausted, and negative? Or do you feel energized, inspired, and optimistic? Your body is giving you crucial data. Some people are energy vampires. They feed on your positivity, your time, and your attention, leaving you depleted. You don't need a logical reason to cut these people out of your life. You don't need to justify it. The feeling of being drained is reason enough. Protect your energy as fiercely as you would protect your money or your physical safety. It is your most precious resource for building the life you want. If someone consistently leaves you with an energy deficit, they have to go. No explanation. Necessary. 30-5. Life rewards boldness, not hesitation. The world is a competitive place. Opportunities are fleeting. While you are hesitating, analyzing, and waiting for the perfect moment, someone else who is bolder and more decisive is taking action and seizing the opportunity you are eyeing. Closed mouths don't get fed. Passive people get passed over. You have to be willing to ask for what you want. You have to be willing to take a risk. You have to be willing to put yourself out there, even when you might get rejected. The universe favors the bold. It bends towards the person who takes decisive action in the face of uncertainty. Stop waiting for an invitation. Invite yourself. 30-6. Your laziness is a debt you are taking out from your future self. Every time you choose to be lazy, to procrastinate, to take the easy way out, you are stealing from the person you will be tomorrow, next week, next year. You are robbing them of opportunities, of health, of success, of peace of mind. That future version of you is going to have to pay the price for your present indulgence. They will have to deal with the consequences of the work you didn't do, the habits you didn't build, and the problems you didn't solve. You think you are getting away with it now, but you are only accumulating a debt that will come due. And your future self will be the one to pay it with interest. Start acting in a way that your future self will thank you for, not curse you for. 30-7. Mediocrity is a crowded highway. Excellence is a lonely road. It is easy to be average. It requires no extra effort, no sacrifice, no courage. That's why most people are there. The path of least resistance is always packed. But the path to greatness, to becoming truly exceptional at what you do, is often a solitary journey. It requires you to say no to parties when you have to work. It requires you to wake up early when everyone else is sleeping. It requires you to be misunderstood by people who don't share your ambition. Success can be lonely at the top, but mediocrity is miserable at the bottom. Choose your path. The crowded one is comfortable, but leads nowhere special. The lonely one is difficult, but leads to a destination worth. Reaching. 30-8. You are always one decision away from a totally different life. One single conscious choice. The decision to finally quit that job you hate. The decision to start that business. The decision to end that toxic relationship. The decision to commit to your health. Everything can change in an instant, the moment you decide. The problem is you are paralyzed by the magnitude of that truth. It's easier to believe that your circumstances are fixed, that you are a product of your past, but you are not. You are a product of your decisions. Right now, in this very moment, You have the power to make a choice that will alter the entire trajectory of your life. But you'll probably just keep scrolling, postponing that. Power for another day. 30-9. Rejection is a filter, not a final verdict. It is life's way of sorting out the people and opportunities that are not meant for you. It is a redirection, not a dead end. When you get rejected for a job, it's filtering out an environment where you wouldn't have thrived. When you get rejected by a person, it's filtering out a relationship that wouldn't have made you happy. The weak see rejection as a confirmation of their inadequacy. They take it personally and give up. The strong see rejection as a valuable piece of data. They use it to refine their approach, to get better, or to simply recognize that it wasn't the right fit and move on, undeterred. Stop fearing rejection. Welcome it. It is the bouncer at the club of success, and it's just doing its job of keeping out those who don't belong. 40. Most people don't actually want to be better. They just want to look like they are. They are obsessed with the appearance of success, not the substance of it. They post pictures from the gym but have no real consistency. They read the titles of books but never finish them. They talk a big game about their goals but put in minimal effort. This is what social media has bred. A culture of performative self-improvement. It's all about crafting a narrative of progress for an audience. But real progress happens in silence. It happens in the unglamorous, unseen moments of hard work and discipline. It's not about the selfie. It's about the reps. Stop trying to convince other people you're working on yourself and actually do the work. The results will be their own advertisement. 40-1. Growth often feels like loss. When you start to grow, you have to shed old parts of yourself. You have to let go of limiting beliefs, bad habits, and toxic relationships. This process can feel like you are losing a part of your identity. It can be painful and disorienting. You might lose friends who are comfortable with the old you, but threatened by the new you. You might feel lonely as you step onto a path that others don't understand. It can feel like you are failing or moving backward, but you are not losing. You are pruning. You are cutting away the dead branches to make way for new growth. You are shedding dead weight so you can fly higher. Embrace this feeling. It is the sign that you are truly evolving. 40-2. You can either be liked by everyone or respected by the right ones. You cannot have both. To be liked by everyone, you have to be a bland, agreeable, shape-shifting entity with no strong opinions or values. You have to avoid conflict, suppress your true thoughts, and constantly seek approval. To be respected, you have to have a backbone. You have to stand for something. You have to be willing to say things that people might not like. You have to have boundaries. This will inevitably cause some people to dislike you. Good, these are not your people. The desire to be universally liked is a recipe for a life of mediocrity and inauthenticity. Choose respect over likability. The respect of a few lions is worth more than the approval of 1,000 sheep. 43. Silence is a source of immense power. In a world that is constantly noisy, filled with opinions, chatter, and distractions, the ability to be silent is a superpower. Silence in a negotiation gives you the upper hand. Silence in the face of an insult robs the attacker of their power. Silence in your own mind allows for clarity and creativity. We are so afraid of silence that we fill every moment with noise podcasts, music, television. We are running from our own thoughts. But it is in the silence that you can hear your own intuition. It is in the silence that you can formulate your best ideas. It is in the silence that you can find peace. Don't just learn to tolerate silence. Learn to cultivate it. Master it. It is one of the most potent weapons in your arsenal. 40-4. Most people live the same year 75 times and call it a life. They get stuck in a routine. They wake up, go to a job they don't love, come home, watch TV, go to sleep, and repeat. The weekends are a brief respite that they are just a recharge for the same cycle to begin again on Monday. The years blend into one another, indistinguishable from the last. This is not living. This is existing. It is a slow, comfortable death. A routine is only valuable if it is infused with intention and purpose, if it is a framework for growth. A routine without intention is just a prison. If you're not consciously learning, growing, and experiencing new things, you are not living a new year. You are just repeating the old one. Don't let your life be a monotonous loop. Make each year count. 40-5. You're not your thoughts. You are the observer of your thoughts. Your mind is a thought-generating machine. It produces thousands of thoughts every day, many of which are random, negative, or completely untrue. The mistake most people make is that they identify with every thought that pops into their head. They believe they are their thoughts. If a thought says, "You are a failure," they believe it. This is the root of so much suffering. You have to learn to take a step back and observe your thoughts without judgment, like watching clouds pass in the sky. You are the sky, not the clouds. This practice of mindfulness creates a space between you and your thoughts. And in that space, you have the freedom to choose which thoughts to believe and which to let go of. This is the key to mental freedom. 40-6. Talking about your goals gives you a premature sense of accomplishment. When you tell people about your big plans, their positive reaction, "Wow, that's amazing," can trick your brain into feeling like you've already achieved the goal. You get a small dopamine hit of social validation, which then reduces your motivation to do the actual hard work required to achieve it. This is why so many people are great at talking about their future success, but terrible at creating it. The most effective people work in silence. They keep their goals to themselves or share them only with a small, trusted circle that will hold them accountable, not just cheerlead. Shut up and execute. Let your results be the announcement. No one cares about your plans until they are. Reality. 40-7. Your laziness is robbing your future self. He's screaming at you from tomorrow. Every time you hit the snooze button, you're stealing 10 minutes of productive time from the person you'll be in an hour. Every time you skip a workout, you're stealing health from the person you'll be in a decade. Every time you procrastinate on a project, you're stealing peace of mind from the person you'll be next week. You are living on credit and your future self is the one who will be stuck with the bill. Imagine that future version of you, successful, happy, and fulfilled, looking back at you right now. What would they be begging you to do? What decision would they want you to make? Start acting on behalf of that person. They are counting on you. 40-8. Perfectionism is just procrastination in a tuxedo. It's a fancy, respectable sounding excuse for being afraid to start. You tell yourself you're just waiting for the conditions to be perfect, for your skills to be perfect, for the plan to be perfect. But perfect never comes. It's a moving target, a mirage in the desert. And while you're waiting, the world is moving on without you. The most successful creators and entrepreneurs have a bias for action. They start messy. They launch the imperfect product. They write the shitty first draft. They know that you can't steer a parked car. You have to get moving and then you can adjust your course along the way. Ditch the tuxedo. Get your hands dirty. Start now with what you have from where you are. You can fix it later. 40-9. Success exposes fake friends faster than failure ever could. When you're failing, everyone can be your friend. They can offer you sympathy, feel superior to you, and give you condescending advice. It costs them nothing. But when you start to win, the dynamic changes. Your success becomes a mirror that reflects their own insecurities and lack of progress. Some people will be genuinely happy for you. These are your true friends. Cherish them. But many will become distant, critical, or subtly dismissive. They will downplay your achievements or attribute them to luck. Pay close attention to how people react to your good news. The ones who clap the loudest when you win are the ones you want in your corner. 50. Life doesn't get easier. You just get stronger. You are waiting for the challenges to stop, for the problems to go away, for life to become smooth and effortless. It's not going to happen. Life is, and always will be, a series of problems to be solved and challenges to be overcome. The goal is not to seek an easy life, but to become the kind of person who can handle a difficult one. The goal is to forge yourself in the fires of adversity until you become unbreakable. Every challenge you overcome, every failure you learn from, every fear you face adds another layer to your armor. You don't want an easy life. You want to be so strong that nothing seems hard. That is the ultimate victory. Outro music swells. If you made it to the end, congratulations. You've just been handed the cheat codes that 99% of the world is too afraid to read. You've seen the unfiltered, brutal truth. But knowing the rules is not enough. The game is won by those who play. So the question is, what are you going to do with it? Are you going to go back to your comfortable illusions, or are you going to step into the arena and start fighting? The choice, as always, is yours. The comment of the day comes from Exelonic Ego, and he said, I wrote these down like I was taking notes in class. I see you. You're the one who understands that this isn't entertainment, it's education. You're the student in the front row, ready to apply the knowledge. That's the mindset of a winner. I appreciate you.